Hello and welcome to the After Show Afterthoughts with Lynnie Godfrey and my dear friend Alexis Ryes. Now we're going to continue the conversation that we were having in Lynnie Godfrey's Straight No Chaser. Such a wonderful conversation about the arts and the transition from actually doing theater into the hospitality field, but also realizing that there's so much theater and symmetry there and the similarities are there. And that's when we left off talking. So, Alexis, you can hear me. Go ahead, say something so they know you're.
I, I hear you. So we we were talking about how I arrived at the Fireman Hospitality Group
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and I shared that story about Shelley Fireman being kind of like my Mr. Disney, but
Yeah.
he himself, like I said, is an artist, and he sculpts, he paints, but his whole approach, his whole being in his approach to restaurants and to the experience of being in a restaurant is theatrical,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And I mean, and like I said, I feel like I very much feel like he's iconic and very much in many respects unsung. You have mentioned the Windows on the World,
Mm-hmm.
and I did things there, working the wine room and different things. I used to sweep the wine cellar so that I could have I got my course in my wine course and all that stuff under my belt. uh Kevin Zraeli was really, really kind and great in allowing me to be a pourer and different things like that, and it allowed me to learn about wines and allowed me to learn about champagnes and that whole aspect of things. Every little different thing. But to me, you know, I could mention a lot of people's names, but he's been my like really that person that always really, really believed in me, and I was able to do other things because of that, because I gained that kind of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked for Ashford and Simpson, when they had their first club 2020, that was great because it was the marriage of the two things, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And it was the 80s, and it was a very, very like over the top time. I mean, it was what gave us, between the music and the clubs and Studio 54 and that place, it was just that place was short lived, but it was iconic. It was an incredible time. And I learned a lot of things that I will later speak about, but not a good thing to speak about now. But I'm talking about like things to do and not to do.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
things to do and not to do, but they themselves as people, and what I don't think that the commitment that they made and what they gave to the whole place ever, they didn't get enough credit. They
Mm-hmm.
never ever, to me,
Mm-hmm.
got enough credit for what they did and what they put together and what they were trying to do. But I mean, for the short time that we existed, it stays with me forever. And a lot of the kids that worked with me there, and I was a kid myself, we we kept in touch and we took care of each other. It helped us to take care of each other within the industry.
Unbelievable. That's just a wonderful. That's a wonderful tribute to that, to
Oh,
both of those places, to both of those places. And of Windows of the World, of course, the destruction of it just broke my heart. You know.
oh, it's unbelievable. You know, that will always live with me. But those memories of both those places, they never die.
No.
At
Hmm.
Windows, I took a step back, and it was more really practical learning. I was basically, I wasn't a waiter. I wasn't, I mean, I was dealing with reservations and uh, and different things like that. But I was able to see what was going inside. And like I said, I mean, I was sweeping the wine cellar and working as a pourer just so that I can learn about wine and
Yeah,
learn about.
yeah. The more that you knew, the more your resume increased. The more that variety of what you knew increased your ability to rise up in the on the ladder, and that was very important. Very important.
It
Uh,
opened other doors too. To have that on your resume, people just kind of looked at you and said, "Oh yeah."
hmm
And I mean, I didn't do. It was very much. I didn't do a whole lot, but I learned a whole lot. I
hmm
learned a whole lot, and how I learned a whole lot. I learned a whole
Okay,
lot.
okay. We'll just yes, yes. Well, I'm just here. I'm not going to hold you long. You're in your beautiful garden, and it just photographs beautifully there. It's just lovely. But you're outside, and it's not warm, so I'm not. You've been out there, and it's so lovely to do this with me. I cannot tell you how wonderful it was to go down the journey of your life and how much I learned, you know, about you. And I've been knowing you all these years. Always stop by, always stop. Whenever I stop by the diner, you've just left. My hours are always the wrong hours. My days are always the wrong days. When was staying down on 55th, I would stop in when I arrived in town, and they go, "Oh no, oh no, he's not on today." And I go, "Oh God, I will never get a chance to see my Alexis." But here you are. I'm so glad, and
I'm so privileged to. Thank you so much for having me and asking me to do this.
oh,
Thank
it's my privilege. It's an honor. I learned so much. I retain a lot. We, as an audience listening to it, it's a wonderful visual of history that we get, of the presence that we get when we walk. Now we walk into the theaters, we walk into the restaurants. There's a whole nother feeling that we have now because of you. A whole nother feeling. And I thank you for that. Really. Thank you.
thank you, dear. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm letting you go now because I promised it wasn't going to be long. So it's not going to be long. I'm going to end this, but I want you to stay on for 1 second. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the after show afterthoughts here with Alexis Reyes. It's Lynnie Godfrey from Lynnie Godfrey Straight No Chaser. And we will see you at another time. We will have Alexis back again, and he will talk about more things, and probably not give us any more names, but he'll give us situations. That'll be good. All right. And thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the radio. Bye bye now.